Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition here of the Rex April Madness Group C. I'm of course just ZvT with him, joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. As we are jumping into our first match of the night. For those that are curious, welcome to a very special event, a new monthly event. Rex has been hosting these events now for 2 months. He had the Rex March Madness, now the Rex April Madness. Last week we were live with Group A and Group B. Now we are live with Group C, and we'll be going over the group shortly. Here we have 4 players. We have 4 players locked in at GSL format, GSL group. Which players do we have? We have Dark, we have Bunny, we have Zound, and we have Cure. And here we go, spawning in the right hand corner of Killer's Mile. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the blue Terran player from South Korea representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. As a reminder, this is a 4-player GSL group. This is the first match. The winner will advance on into the winner's match, the loser into the elimination match. Neither player is going to be eliminated yet, and this is a best of 3. Best of 3 for the time being. Best of 5s later on in the evening. Let's go. Let us go. For now, we do have our vetoes done. Concluded. Game 1 here going to be on Killer's Mile. This is going to be one of the new TLMC maps. Of course, news has been reported on recently. As of less than 24 hours ago, we do have the new ladder map pool on the horizon. So that is slowly being decided. I don't think it's quite finalized yet, but for the most part, it is going to be dictated here by those working behind the scenes at the TLMC. So really cool to see that that is going to be working towards. And actually, we do have a new map pool poised to drop before EWC. Big news, big news, Pappy, big news. That's all that I was hoping for, I'll be honest. If you've been tuning into the podcast, you'll know that my concern was that we wouldn't get a new map pool before EWC, but thankfully we are. Thankfully, at least it seems to be the case, that we are getting a new map pool. So it feels good, man, feels good. I don't think Killer's Mile is actually going to be part of that, actually. I don't think that's going to be quite a part of it, but regardless, new map pool nonetheless. As for now, we are going to be settling in. So far, ranks expand. Economic opener here out, or standard opener out of Bunny. Likewise, hatch gas pool out of Dark. No gasless. Nothing gasless, nothing crazy. So we have our standard openers. Reaper does dip in. Dancing with the Lings. So far, gets 1, not bad. Gets 1 Ling, dips into the main base. No major damage yet. Looking for another Ling, looking for a drone, but the Queens have arrived and Dark he will zone away. Now from here, welcome one to Killer's Mile. Killer's Mile is an interesting map in the map pool. I would say it has a very direct attack path and relatively short attack path as well. We have seen a lot of aggression have success on Killer's Mile. We've seen a lot of 3-base play and a lot of 3-base all-ins. But I'm curious to see how Bunny, speaking of aggression, there it is. Speaking of aggression, do you see what I see? I see a starport before command center, before CC. So a hyper aggressive build here by Bunny. He's going to be delaying his expansion in favor of faster Banshee production, more Hellions. This can also lead into a Hellbat push as well. Aggression here is on the horizon, and we'll see if Dark can realize what's going on. Now, he does have an Overlord here outside the natural, but the Overlord is on half HP. The Overlord did take a lot of hits here from the Marine, so scouting is quite limited here for Dark. He does not have a second Overlord towards the left-hand side, so limited vision, limited scouting. Dark is going to be in the dark, and we'll see if he plays Roach. If he goes for a Roach-based opener, he should be okay. Oh, Marauders are blindly... this should be Hellbats, 100%. If we're massing Marauders back at home, this should be for a Marauder Hellbat push across the map alongside Viking first to make sure that it does not get scouted. Okay, bold move. Let's go. Bunny is doubling down. He's doubling down. As we did mention, Marauder screams Hellbat push, and there it is. Armory is on the way for the Hellbats. Now, Dark, he has yet to really tech up. He's droning at the moment, which is fine. Like 4 minutes in, we should be fine. In a couple of seconds, we should be seeing either a Bailey Nest or a Roach Warren. Best case scenario for Bunny is Lair first. If Dark does play Lair first, then he'll delay his tech. Best case scenario actually for Bunny would be double Eva Chamber. If there's double Eva Chamber before Lair, then we could be in some trouble here. Okay, it is going to be Lair first. Gas is being taken, and we are playing Roaches from the side of Dark. Roach Warren has been thrown down, and the question becomes, do we get any roaches in time for the push? Because here comes the move out. Hellions are zooming across the map. The medevac does boost across as well with 3 Marauders, and the Roach Warren, it only just began. It's not ready for this. Oh boy. So purely Link Queen defense, there are 6 queens. 6 queens to defend, and we're not getting a 7th or 8th queen, so 6 queens, a handful of Lings, and here comes the push. Here comes the timing. Hellbats say Morphin, Marauders, they push forward as well. Breaking down that front door, pushing it towards the natural. Yeah, using the choke point against those Lings. Queens are coming from behind, but the Marauders are going to shut this down. And Dark's in trouble. The Queens are falling one after the other. He will lose 1 queen so far. Bust into the natural. We have Roach production now available. Getting into the middle line. Another clutch transfuse, but another queen is going to go down. Yeah, losing 2 queens so far. There's 4 queens left. Boys being pulled away. Another queen is going to fall. And all the queens are going down. We have 13 roaches in production. Bunny, he needs more critical damage. Killing all the queens is nice, no, but he needs some economic damage. As he's catching roaches as they pop out. Again, the Marauder putting in a lot of damage. Oh my god. Yeah, roaches are falling one after the other. And again, we have control of the third base. GG gets called. The queens have all fallen. And Bunny, he will pull this off. He will take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very strong timing there by Bunny. Unfortunately for Dark, he was being greedy. He had cut queens early. Instead of going up to 7 or 8 queens, he cut at 6 because he was taking into roaches. So he probably thought he was safe, so he could take into roaches. He cut queen production, and with that, he was caught with his pants down. And now Bunny is 1 game away from advancing on into the next round. Remember, this is the best of 3, so 1 more game is all that Bunny needs. And we'll see if he can get it. We'll see if he can get there. Now, I don't expect another Hellbat timing or Hellbat push here in game number 2. There are macro variations of this. I wouldn't be opposed to 3cc Hellbat push, as that is a way to maybe force an overreaction and kind of like bait Dark into overreacting and then just macro behind it. There's potential there. Otherwise, we should just be seeing an economic build here out of Bunny instead. Should be. Like, is he crazy enough to do the same build 2 games in a row? I hope not. If we do get into this game, I'm sure Dark is going to be playing a lot safer this time. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make his way out of this group. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Here we go. And again, a hyper-aggressive build in that last game from Bunny. And again, it was very fortunate that Dark was cutting corners. Dark was being greedy. I mean, a big part of the success of that build is also the lack of information. Remember, the initial overload was denied. It was denied by the Marines. There was a Viking follow-up as well. Like, there was a lot happening there to make sure that Dark had no idea what was happening. And on top of that, with that limited scouting information, Dark, he wasn't playing safe either, right? So, I mean, that's Dark for you. Now coming into game 2, I expect Dark to... I was going to say I expect him to play a little bit safer. And in a sense, I kind of do. I expect Dark to put a little bit more emphasis into scouting, but I don't think Dark is going to blindly play safely here. That's not really how you want to approach this, especially as we mentioned, what are the chances that Bunny does go for a committed 2-base play 2 games in a row? It'd be quite low. So you don't want to be like, you know, mind gaming yourself, or you don't want to put yourself behind by being overly safe and overly defensive. It's a big part of StarCraft. The mind games, the mind games. Here, this is when Dark goes like gasless, like 3 hatchery before before anything. But now the hatch gas will stand the nerf out here out of Dark. Likewise, Rax expand out of Bunny. Everything looks normal so far. Here we go. So chat, when does Dark start military? We don't know the exact date. Dark, he told us in April. He said like around mid-April is when he'd be joining. That's all we know. As we said before, Dark, he has not been playing in Open Cups, but he has been joining these Invitationals. We did have a show match with Dark and Clem not too long ago, and here Dark, he was invited into Rex tournament as well, as oh, we do go for the eBay block. Oh my god. eBay block on the right, Reaper block here towards left hand side. A Dark's in a rough position here. He's being denied the expansion, being denied any kind of third base. Yeah, there's another gas trick. Saves the drone, Reaper moves away, there's a cancel on the right hand side, and it looks like a Dark can finally expand, but last forced to take his gases. Oh wait, no, that's the gas here on the left hand side. Queen moves out. Lings, they do get across map to try and delay and try and disrupt. There's that third CC, so Bunny is going for an economic build, and he will lose one worker so far. Dark, he finally expands, but that is a late expansion for Dark. Ay, ay, ay. Again, very cheeky play here by Bunny. So he races back home, and he will defend. He will deflect. Now, Darky does get a full scout. Darky's fully aware of the third CC, so now he knows he can be greedy. Now he knows he can be greedy, he can cut corners, he can be more economic, and get into his own game state here. Darky's very fond of Roach play, so we could see Roaches once again, especially on a smaller map like Ultralove. That would make sense, and yep, there it is. Roach Horn gets thrown down. Now, as a reminder, last game, Darky threw down his Roach Horn at 4:30. It was a 4:30 Roach Horn timing. Here, it's at 3:30. Much earlier here, so this is for a Roach Rush. That's why it's behind the mineral line in the main base, so we're going for a Roach Rush. Now, this doesn't have to be for an all-in. This could just be an early Roach push to take control of the natural, but the Reaper does dip in. The Reaper does get a full scout. Bunny knows. Bunny, he sees, he knows behind this, he's going for an Admiral Sub and a Banshee, and he should be keeping the Banshee defensive. He should be using the Banshee defensively instead, and these Roaches are going to have a hard time getting any damage. As Dark, he is banking up that larva, waiting for the Roaches. Aliens do move out, and there it is. Roach production has begun. Getting into the Roaches, there we go. We have 8 Roaches on the way. Bunny is being active. And so far, I mean, he needs to be. So he's keeping up with the Lings. Lings, they bypass the main army. We have the 3 rack setup here behind this. Stim is on the way. Ooh, we fake out Cloak. Okay. Love to see it. So fake Cloak on the way here for Bunny. And ideally that forces out Spore Crawlers. Dark is droning, and Dark is pushing. So again, this is an early Roach push, but this is not an all-in. He is droning up behind this. The purpose of this Roach push is to deny the natural, is to get some economic damage done, and then get further ahead. Now Bunny takes down one of the Roaches. The rest do peel towards the left-hand side. That's going to be how many? That's going to be 7 Roaches in total, getting up to 11. And Darky is deterred. Bunny, he knows that the Roaches are somewhere. Dark taking gases, double Eva chamber, double upgrades, and droning up. So Darky just droning, just saturating. Getting into his lair, and Bunny, no overreaction. Now, the one reaction that is happening here is that because of these Roaches, what are they achieving? It means that the Banshee was delayed to push across the map, and also the Hellions are pinned back home as well. So because of this, the creep can go uncontested, and the mineral lines can go unimpeded as well. Now you can see the spores have been thrown down. Again, we did fake Cloak earlier, so far it's done its job. And I believe it's only 1 Banshee. Yeah, just the 1. Aliens, they break out. They get 1 tumor so far. They get a second. Nice pickups. And coming into the mid game here, I will say that Bunny is in a better position. Bunny, he has a really nice economy, getting into 3 bases, building up his bio tank. I do think that Dark, he has to recover here and catch back up, and we are taking up quite heavily into the infestation pit. Interesting. Now, this could just be for Roach Ravager into Hydra Lurker tech. True, we could see a Hydra into Lurker tech. We'll keep an eye on the production tab. This could be for Roach Ravager into into Swarm Hosts, into Locust Waves and Locust Harass. This isn't really the best map for it. If we were on El Dorado or if we were on King's Cove, then I would favor that sort of style. Here, we have our answer. It is Hydra. So Hydra is on the way, which means this pit should be for a hive, and we should be working towards Hydras and Lurkers. And speaking of, there it is. Hive is on the way. Lurker Den is on the horizon. And Darky's turtling. He's turtling up, he's knocking down all these towers, he's taking into Hive, taking into Lurkers. It's going to be on Dark to keep up with these rotations, and we'll see if Bunny can break Dark before Lurkers. Oh boy. For now, we are on 5 gases. Additional Raxes are going to be on the way. We have how many so far? We have 5, getting up to 8. We have an A-Rack setup here, but with the extra gas geyser, this isn't necessarily a 3-base all-in. That's still a terrifying army, though. 1-1 is done. Bunny is pushing out. 2-2 is going to be delayed as the army was a little bit late. Tanks sieging up. Shows up Isles of very juicy connections. Yeah, 2 tanks go down instantly. Yeah, really well set up there from Bunny. Bunny does stim in. He's breaking through the roaches. The roaches are going to be falling one after the other, and Bunny, does he have too much? He may just. It's going to be close here. Roach reinforcements have arrived. They're trickling in. Still better trades here for Bunny. Very efficient trades. Picks off roach after roach, still just rallying across the map. The Wiles will not connect this. The tank is still behind this, and Bunny, it looks like he may have just done it. It's still close. There's still more roaches on the way. There's still... Oh no, can he save the tank? He barely cannot. That barely doesn't save the tank. If he saved it a little bit longer there, he may have just broken through. Whew. And Dark holds. Dark is barely holding on. Now what is terrifying is that Bunny, it looks like he's A-racked. He is A-raxing, so he's going for a 3-base all-in. You can see here no add-ons on these raxes, just pure marine production. 2-2 is on the way, +1 vehicle weapons. And Bunny, his goal here is to just break his opponent to kill Dark. Now Dark didn't lose any of his economy, thankfully. He's getting into 2-2. And he's still moving in, dropping into the main, keeping his opponent busy. And how many tanks are we on? 2 tanks so far. 2 tanks for Bunny. Dark, he needs more Ravagers to deal with those tanks. There we go, more Ravagers on the way. Getting up to 5. And again, Bunny, he was so close to breaking Dark Tank. Imagine if he hadn't stacked those tanks. Speaking of, another tank goes down instantly. And a Medivac as well. Despite that, the Bio Army does stim in. Oh, the greater concave for Dark. It's still so close. The Wilds, they graze the army. But alas, Bunny has too much. Bunny, he's done it. At this one, he has done it. He breaks on through. Takes down the main army. Vipers, they barely pop out, but there's no energy. GG gets called, and Bunny, he will take the series 2-0. Taking down Dark and advancing on into the winner's match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Bunny. He will claim the series. Again, very aggressive styles here out of Bunny. Bunny, game 1, he went for a Hellbat push, a very early Hellbat and Marauder timing, which he was able to hide very successfully. Meanwhile, game 2, we saw an 8-rax. We saw a 3-base all-in, 8-rax. Bunny just snowballing out of control, catching out the roaches early on, and eventually breaking Dark down. Again, Dark, he had a really rough start. As a reminder, Dark going for the Roach Rush early on with the 330 Roach Warren. As we mentioned, he did fall behind, and Bunny did take a lead because the Roaches didn't get any damage. Bunny, he was able to scout it, able to shut it down, and even force reactions out of Dark, and those early 12 Roaches weren't really worth it. They weren't really worth it in the end. And with that, Bunny was able to get a stronger early game into a stronger mid game into an all-in. GG. GG, well played. Bunny, he will claim the series. And with that, we are now getting ready for our next matchup. Again, this is a 4-player group. Up next, we have Zeon and Cure. Let's go. Quickly going over the group here, as we do have a moment to catch up. Let us switch our scenes over. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourself, the Wikipedia page. We do have our group. And first things first, Bunny, he takes the 2-0 over Dark. So Bunny, he's in the winner's match. Dark is in the elimination match. And we have our second series here, Cure versus Zeon. So 4 players, GSL group. We have a 5 series in total. First one is done. We're getting ready for our second series, a TVP. Let's go. Let us go. Now, we're going to be going on a short break. Here while our players conduct their vetoes. Vetoes are currently underway. Once we wrap up, we will be back with Zeon and Cure in our next best of 3. For now, see you soon. See you soon, Bobby. See you soon.